Hello my crafty friends, this is Mary. Welcome back to Cardz TV. Today we're going to make a Thanksgiving card using an oldie but a goodie. We're going to use doodle charms. And our papers are going to come from this My Mind's Eye paper pad. This is Stella and Rose Maple. And it's got some gorgeous papers in here, just perfect for fall and Thanksgiving. I just love this paper pad. Now for our sentiment, we'll use one of my Cardz TV stamp sets. This is Thankful for You. For the front, we'll use Happy Thanksgiving. And for the inside of our card, we'll use So Thankful. So let's get started on our Thanksgiving card. We'll be starting with a craft card base. And this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And our layer is going to be this really pretty kind of a robin's egg blue, and it's got some white lines going through it. It kind of looks like a mesh pattern, but this was cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Then I took a stripe from that Stella and Rose paper pad, and I'm going to put this right here across the front, and you can see it's longer than it needs to be, and that's because I also have cut these 2 scalloped borders, and for that scallop I used my scallop border punch. This is from EK Success, and I don't know how well you can see that, but these are longer as well. So what I'm going to do is adhere a border to each side of this little center border, and then I'm going to adhere this to the front of my card so that it's evenly spaced, and then I'll just trim off the excess. So I'll get my adhesive over here and get this adhered together, and then we'll get that on the front of our card. This will be real easy to do. I'm just going to run some adhesive right down the back of one side and get that adhered to the scalloped border, and it kind of helps because I can line it up with these polka dots, and I know I've got it pretty even that way. And now I'll put the other side on. Now I've got my borders on my striped border panel that's going down the front, but I decided I wanted to put a circle behind it first. And I really like this wood grain paper that's also in that Stella and Rose paper pad. So in the Doodle Charms cartridge, I went over to page 130, and under Blackout, there's a circle. So I cut this circle at 3 1/4 inches on Blackout. And here it is right here, and I'm going to kind of center that right there on that robin's egg blue mat before I put down my striped center panel. I just like the way that looks. I just want to make sure I get it centered, which is not easy to do sometimes when you're looking over a camera, but I think that's about right. And then I'm going to line up my scallops so they're evenly spaced. That looks about right. And I'll get this adhered down, and then I'm going to trim that little bit off at the top and the bottom, and then we'll have this ready to go on the front of our card. Now I'll just take my little cutter bee scissors and trim this off. And add this to the front of the card. Now our card base is all ready. The next thing I cut out of the Doodle Charms cartridge is on page 115, and I wanted to add some fall leaves to the front. So I hit shift and I cut this leaf right here at 2 inches, and that's on page 115. I cut 2 of them, and I used some of the pretty kind of a marigold yellow paper that's in that paper pad. And I've got these on 1 thickness of foam tape, and I did take some Tim Holtz Tea-Dye Distress ink and inked around my leaves, and I'm going to put one down here and one right up here. I thought those were so pretty. And for my sentiment, I took some more of that craft cardstock, and I used some Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I used that Happy Thanksgiving stamp from the Thankful for You set and stamped it on this little craft cardstock banner that I cut. This is also on 1 thickness of foam tape, and I'm going to add that right there. And that finishes the front of our card. I love the way this looks. It's kind of simple, but there's a lot going on with the different patterns, and I just really like the way that looks. So I'm going to get this adhered down, and then we're going to do the inside of the card. Now for the inside, I've cut a blue border, which is 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. That's going to go right there. Then I cut a little mat from that cute polka dot paper, and I cut this at 3 inches by 4 inches, and I'm going to put that right there on that blue border. Then I've got an ivory sentiment mat. This is 2 1/2 by 3 1/2, and I'm going to center that on the polka dot paper. And my sentiment is from the Thankful for You set, and once again I've used Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I put that on a piece of the craft cardstock, and I've got a little banner, and this is going to go right up here. And then I cut another leaf from the Doodle Charms cartridge, and this is also on page 115, and I cut this little leaf at 1 1/4 inches. It's on 1 thickness of foam tape, and it's going to go right up here in the corner, just like that. And that leaves plenty of room down here to write another greeting or a sentiment. So I'm going to get my adhesive and get all of this adhered down, and then we'll come back and take a look at the finished card. Here's the finished card, and I think it turned out really pretty. Love all these beautiful fall colors, and I think it's just perfect for Thanksgiving. Now if you want to, you can add some buttons in the corners, or some rhinestones, or some sequins, whatever you'd like, but I really like it just like this. I love all the different patterns and the colors. And here's the inside all finished, and there's plenty of room to write your name and another sentiment. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for coming by today. I hope you've had a good time and got inspired to make some Thanksgiving cards. And I will see you again soon with another card. Bye now.